Something shifts at Heartland the moment Nathan steps onto the ranch. His eyes search for Amy, and you can feel the tension before a single word is spoken. Amy has been carrying a truth that could change everything, and in this episode, that truth finally begins to push its way out. As the morning unfolds, small moments hint that today won't be like any other day. This is the day Nathan starts to sense that something is wrong, and Amy realizes she can't keep her secret much longer. The day begins quietly at Heartland. The sky is soft, the light is warm, and the ranch feels calm. Amy is in the paddock early, working with a tense bay mare that refuses to settle. She moves slowly, talking to the horse in that gentle way only she can. But even as she focuses on the horse, her thoughts are clearly somewhere else. Her shoulders are tight, her breath short. Something weighs heavily on her mind. Inside the barn, Gracie peeks out from behind a stall door, watching her mom. She doesn't say anything, but her eyes are full of questions. It's clear she senses the stress Amy is trying to hide. Amy offers her a tired smile, trying to act normal, but Gracie's expression doesn't soften. Kids always know when something is off. Just as Amy gets the horse to relax, the moment is broken by the sound of a truck pulling up the drive. The gravel crunches under the tires and Amy stiffens instantly. She turns slowly, and there he is, Nathan stepping out with an unreadable expression. He doesn't look angry, doesn't look calm either. He looks determined, like he's come for answers. Amy pauses, her hands still resting on the horse's neck. She hopes he's just here for a simple visit, but deep down, she knows better. Nathan has been noticing things, small hints, small changes, small truths Amy can't hide forever. Today feels like the day all those small things start to come together. He walks toward her with slow, steady steps. "Morning," he says, but even the word sounds heavy. Amy replies politely, trying to keep her voice steady. She focuses on the horse, pretending she's busy, but it doesn't stop the tension from spreading across the yard. From the barn doorway, Gracie watches them both. She doesn't understand everything that's happening, but she feels the shift. She holds on to the wooden frame, half hiding, half listening. Nathan asks a few simple questions about the horse, about the morning, but Amy feels the real, unspoken question behind every word. "What are you keeping from me?" Amy senses the walls closing in. The calm of the ranch suddenly feels fragile, like one wrong word could crack it wide open. She glances toward Gracie, then back at Nathan. His eyes follow her gaze, and for a moment, the whole world seems to pause. This quiet morning is the beginning of something big. The truth she's been avoiding is getting closer, and Amy knows she can't stop the day from unfolding. The tension has started, and there's no turning back now. The calm of the ranch doesn't last long. While Amy struggles with her growing tension, Lou is already caught in a different storm. She arrives at the house in a rush, juggling her phone, a stack of papers, and the weight of being Heartland's mayor. Her voice is clipped as she speaks into the phone, trying to smooth out yet another council issue. New proposal is causing trouble, something about changing land rules that could affect several ranches in the area, Heartland included. Lou hangs up, takes a deep breath, and for a moment she just stands there in the kitchen, hands braced on the counter. The strong, focused Lou that everyone knows looks shaken. She's been fighting one battle after another lately, and today feels like it's already slipping out of her control. Peter walks in quietly, noticing the worry on her face. He pours her a cup of coffee without asking, setting it in front of her like he's done 100 times before. There's a softness between them, nothing spoken, but something familiar. "Rough morning?" he asks, and Lou lets out a tired laugh. "That's one way to put it," she says. She explains the problem. A council member is pushing a proposal that could limit horse training operations and increase fees for rural property owners. It sounds small on paper, but Lou knows it could hurt families like hers. It could even affect Amy's work. That thought alone tightens her chest. Peter listens, really listens, the way he always does. He reminds her that people trust her, that she's always fought for what's right. Lou nods, but there's a shadow behind her confidence. Lately, it feels like every decision she makes is weighed, judged, or twisted. She wonders if she's losing her grip on the community she's trying to protect. As they talk, her phone buzzes again. She checks it and sighs. There's a community meeting later, and things are already heating up online. Some residents support the proposal, others are furious. Lou knows it's going to be another exhausting fight, and she's already stretched thin. But what makes her stop is the thought of Amy, of Gracie, of the ranch. Lou suddenly realizes this battle isn't just political, it's personal. If she doesn't get ahead of it, everything they love could be affected. She grabs her blazer, squares her shoulders, and heads toward the door, determination returning to her step. Peter calls out, "Lou, don't forget you're not in this alone." She pauses just long enough to meet his eyes, and for a moment, the world feels a little less heavy. Outside, the morning sun hits her face, but the warmth doesn't calm her. She sees Nathan's truck parked by the arena. She sees Amy staring down at the ground, and Lou knows without being told that something deeper is happening between them. Lou has her own war to fight today, but she can't shake the feeling that Amy's battle might be even harder. Jack senses trouble before anyone says a word. It's in the way Amy avoids eye contact. It's in the way Nathan stands too still, like he's trying to read a storm on the horizon. From the porch, Jack watches the two of them with narrowed eyes, his coffee growing cold in his hand. He may not know what's going on, but he knows enough to recognize when someone in this family is carrying a heavy truth. Inside the barn, Tim is already pacing, muttering to himself as he wipes down a saddle that doesn't need cleaning. Seeing Nathan's truck pull up, and that alone was enough to set off every alarm in his head. Tim is many things: loud, stubborn, competitive, but when it comes to Amy, he turns into a watchdog with no off switch. And this morning, that switch is stuck firmly in alert mode. Jack steps inside and gives him a long, steady look. "You're gonna wear that leather thin," he says. Tim shoots back a glare. Something's going on. Doesn't show up early unless he wants something. Jack sighs. Maybe he's just visiting. But Tim shakes his head immediately. No. Amy's hiding something, and Nathan feels it. "You think I don't notice these things?" Jack almost laughs because Tim noticing subtle emotional signals is not exactly his known talent. But today, even Jack can't deny that the air feels different, tight, stretched, ready to snap. And if Jack feels it, Tim is feeling it 10 times louder. Tim storms closer to the barn doors, trying to get a better look outside. "I'm telling you, Jack, I know that look on Amy's face. She's worried. And whenever she's worried, something big is about to happen." Jack puts a hand on Tim's shoulder, attempting to calm him, but Tim brushes it off. Subtlety is not in his vocabulary. The two of them step outside just far enough to see Amy and Nathan talking again quiet. Careful, too careful. Jack notices that Amy keeps glancing toward Gracie, and that alone tells him everything he needs to know. A secret involving a child always lands with double the weight. Tim folds his arms. See that? She's nervous. And he knows she's nervous. Jack raises an eyebrow. "So what are you planning to do? March out there and make everything worse?" Tim opens his mouth like he might actually do it, but Jack steps in front of him. "No, you stay right here. Let her handle it." Tim grumbles and kicks a stray hay bale, but he stays put. Jack knows Tim's protective fire comes from love, even if it comes out sideways. But Amy doesn't need a rescue. She needs space. She needs time. And maybe, just maybe, she needs to finally say the words she's been avoiding. Jack looks at her again. The way her shoulders rise with every breath, the way her eyes drift between Nathan and Gracie. He understands now. Amy is standing in the middle of her own emotional crossroads, and she's trying to choose the path that hurts the least. Beside him, Tim keeps muttering, "If he upsets her, I'm stepping in." Jack sighs. "Tim, sometimes the hardest conversations are the ones you can't stop." Tim goes quiet for once, and Jack knows the truth of that settles differently in each of them. And just like that, Heartland feels full of two storms: Amy's silent one, and Tim's very loud one. And both are building fast. Amy finally steps away from Nathan, pretending she needs to check on the mare again. But really, she just needs a moment to breathe. She walks into the barn with her heartbeat echoing in her ears. The air inside is cool and quiet, almost peaceful, but not peaceful enough. To settle her nerves, Gracie is waiting near the stalls, holding a grooming brush in both hands. Small in the soft morning light, her curiosity written all over her face. "Mom, are you okay?" she asks, voice gentle, uncertain. Amy forces a smile and crouches down, wiping a stray bit of dust from Gracie's cheek. "I'm fine, sweetheart, just a busy morning." But Gracie doesn't buy it. She never does when it comes to her mom. She shifts her weight, chewing her lip the way she does when she has something she's scared to say. "You look sad," she says quietly. Amy feels her chest tighten. Kids always see the parts adults try hardest to hide. Amy tries to redirect the moment. "Here," she says softly, guiding Gracie to the mare. "Want to help me calm her down?" They stand side by side, brushing the horse's coat in slow circles. The mare lets out a deep breath, relaxing under their touch. And for a moment, it feels like the world stops spinning, but Gracie's mind is still racing. "Why did Mr. Nathan come so early?" she asks without looking up. The question lands like a stone in Amy's stomach. She freezes, her hand stopping in mid-stroke. All the noise outside, the crunch of boots, the murmurs of Jack and Tim fade away. It's just Amy, her daughter, the truth pressing against her ribs. Amy straightens and looks at Gracie, really looks at her. The innocence in her eyes makes the moment even harder. "He just wanted to talk," Amy finally manages, but her voice is too soft, too fragile. Gracie studies her mom's face and frowns. "About me?" That question slices deeper than any other. Amy feels her throat tighten. Gracie is too smart, too aware, always picking up on things that adults assume slip past children. Amy kneels in front of her, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "Sometimes grown-ups need time to explain things properly," she says carefully. "Things that matter." Gracie nods, but her eyes flicker with worry. "Did I do something wrong?" she whispers. That's what breaks Amy. Completely. The fear in her daughter's voice is something she never wanted to cause. She pulls Gracie into a tight hug, holding her as if she can shield her from everything happening outside. Every question, every truth, every consequence. "No, sweetheart," Amy whispers into her hair. "You didn't do anything wrong? You're perfect. This isn't your fault at all." Gracie clings to her, and Amy holds on longer than she needs to, because letting go means stepping back into reality. Letting go means facing Nathan again. In this moment, with Gracie feels like the last quiet breath before the world changes. When they finally separate, Gracie looks up. "Mom, are you going to tell him?" Amy's breath catches. She doesn't answer right away. She just cups her daughter's face gently and whispers, "I think it's time." Outside, a shadow moves past the barn doors. Nathan is waiting. The truth is waiting. And Amy knows she can't delay the moment much longer. Nathan waits outside the barn, pretending to study the paddock fence, but his eyes keep drifting toward the doorway. Every few seconds he glances up, hoping Amy will come back out, and each time he feels a little more unsettled. Something in her behavior, those quick glances, the shaking hands, the way she pulled away from him feels like a warning he can't ignore. He hears faint voices inside the barn. Amy's soft, careful tone, Gracie's small voice. The sound makes him pause. He isn't eavesdropping, but the tenderness in Amy's voice tells him this conversation isn't simple. It's something delicate, something she's been holding close for a long time. Nathan shifts his weight, running a hand through his hair. His mind keeps replaying the last few weeks, the odd pauses, the way Amy changed the subject when he brought up the future, the moments when she looked like she wanted to say something but didn't. He thought it was stress. He thought it was work. But now, watching the way she's avoiding him, he realizes it's something deeper. Something personal. Jack steps out onto the porch, watching Nathan with that calm, steady look that could either comfort a man or unravel him completely. Nathan nods politely, but he can feel the tension tightening in his chest. Jack knows something too. Nathan can see it in his eyes. Everyone around Amy seems to know more than he does, and that stings more than he expected. He takes a slow breath and walks toward the barn, telling himself he's just checking in, just talking. But the closer he gets, the heavier his steps feel. He stops near the doorway, hesitating. He hears Gracie ask, "Are you going to tell him?" And though her voice is small, The words hit Nathan like a falling beam.
Tell him.
What? The question burns through him. He freezes, unable to move, the edges of fear beginning to creep in. It feels strange. He came to the ranch to share something important with Amy. But now he realizes she's been holding something far more important than anything he had planned to say before he can step inside. Tim suddenly appears around the corner, wiping his hands on a rag and giving Nathan a long, suspicious stare. Nathan forces a polite smile, but Tim doesn't return it. Instead, he stands too close, like he's deciding whether Nathan is a problem he needs to fix. "You here for something specific?" Tim asks, voice sharp enough to cut wire. Nathan keeps his tone calm. "Just needed to talk to Amy." Tim lifts one eyebrow. "About what?" Nathan's jaw tightens. He respects this family, but he's not about to be interrogated. "It's personal," he says quietly. Tim huffs, clearly unhappy with that answer. The air between them thickens. Jack steps off the porch, heading their way, probably to keep the situation from exploding. Nathan steps back a little, not wanting to start a scene. But the truth is clear enough. They're guarding Amy, which means they know she's hiding something, which means whatever she's hiding, it matters. Before anyone can say another word, Amy steps out of the barn. Her eyes widen when she sees the three of them. Like she's caught between worlds, one she desperately wants to protect, and one she can't avoid any longer. Nathan sees the fear in her eyes, the exhaustion, the weight, and something inside him shifts. This isn't a small issue. This isn't a simple conversation. This is something big. Something she's been scared to tell him. As she walks toward him, he feels the tension coil tighter. She opens her mouth, but no words come out yet. And Nathan knows for the first time that whatever she's about to say, it's going to change everything. Amy stands between Nathan and the barn, like someone caught beneath two different skies. Behind her is Gracie's innocence and the quiet safety of the place she knows. In front of her is Nathan, waiting with questions he hasn't dared to ask out loud. The air feels heavy, so heavy, it almost presses her backward. She forces herself to take a step toward him, but her legs feel unsteady, like the truth is pulling her in every direction at once. "I need a minute," she whispers, more to herself than to him. She turns away before Nathan can reply and heads quickly toward the barn's back stalls, where the light is dimmer and the world feels smaller. She rests her hand on the nearest stall door, trying to steady her breathing. But the truth she's been hiding isn't letting her breathe at all. It sits like a stone in her chest. Refusing to move, Nathan watches her disappear into the shadows, confusion and worry twisting across his face. Jack moves to step closer, but Amy shakes her head from across the barn, silently begging him not to follow. Jack stops, understanding immediately. This is something she needs to face alone as she can be, with her heart shattering from the inside. Inside the last stall, Amy leans against the wooden wall, closing her eyes. Her breath comes in uneven waves. Memories rush through her at the moment. Everything changed. The decisions she had to make, the fear of hurting the people she loves. She's held it all together for so long, and now that truth is pressing harder. It's demanding to be spoken. A soft rustling behind her makes her turn. The mare she was training earlier nudges her shoulder gently, sensing the storm inside her. Amy places her forehead against the horse's neck, letting the warmth soothe her for a moment. But it's not enough. Nothing feels enough anymore. Her hands begin to tremble. Her heartbeat is loud, too loud. And then, like a crack in a dam, her composure finally breaks. Tears fall quiet at first, then stronger, as if everything she's been holding back is unraveling all at once. She tries to wipe them away, but more follow, spilling out no matter how hard she tries to hold herself together. Outside the stall, Nathan steps carefully into the barn. He'd tried waiting. He'd tried giving her space, but silence fills him with a growing ache. He stops when he spots her in the shadows, shaking, crying. Struggling to breathe through emotions she has kept locked away for far too long. "Amy," he says softly, not wanting to startle her. She stiffens, but she doesn't turn around. For a moment, She tries to swallow her sobs, but her voice breaks anyway. "I can't do this anymore," she whispers. Nathan takes a step closer. "Can't do what?" Amy finally turns her head, eyes red and full of fear. "Hiding," she says. "Lying by staying quiet? Pretending everything is normal?" Her breath catches. "I should have told you sooner." Nathan's expression softens, but beneath it is a heavy note of dread. He can feel the moment tightening around them. This isn't about a disagreement or a misunderstanding. This is something deep, something that has lived inside her for a long time. "Amy," he says gently, "whatever it is, just tell me." Amy closes her eyes, tears slipping down her cheeks. She wants to speak. She wants to finally say the words, but they catch in her throat, tangled with guilt and fear. She presses her hand to her stomach, trying to calm the shaking, but nothing works. The truth is fighting its way out. When she finally opens her eyes, the look she gives Nathan is enough to make his heart stop. A look full of confession, pain, and something close to hope. "Nathan," she whispers, voice breaking, "it's about Gracie." The world seems to freeze around them as Amy's words hang in the air fragile. It's trembling and powerful enough to shake the entire ranch to its roots. Nathan stands perfectly still. He doesn't move, doesn't breathe, as if any shift in the moment might shatter it completely. It's about Gracie. The sentence hits him harder than he expected. He searches Amy's face, looking for some sign: anger, fear, regret, but all he sees is a woman carrying a truth that's been crushing her. For far too long, Amy takes a small step forward, hands shaking despite her effort to hide it. She tries to steady her voice, but it comes out thin and uneven. "There's something you never knew," she begins, staring at the ground because she can't bear to meet his eyes just yet. "Something I should have told you a long time ago." Her breath catches, and she presses a hand against her chest as if trying to hold herself together. Nathan's heart hammers in his ribcage. He doesn't understand yet, but he knows this moment is about to change everything he thought he knew. "Amy, what are you saying?" he finally asks, his voice rough but gentle. She forces herself to look up at him, and the honesty in her eyes nearly breaks him. "Gracie, she's not just my daughter," she swallows hard. "Nathan, she's yours too." The barn falls silent. Even the horses seem to sense the gravity of her words. Nathan blinks, stunned, his mind racing in every direction. Shock sweeps over his face, followed by confusion, disbelief, and a pain so raw he can't begin to hide it. He takes a step back, instinctively, like he needs space just to breathe. His voice fractures. "Amy, why didn't you tell me?" Tears spill from Amy's eyes before she can stop them. "I was scared," she admits shakily. "Everything was so complicated then. You were dealing with your own battles, and I didn't know how to let you into something so big. I thought I was protecting everyone. But instead," she swipes at her face, trying to breathe. "I hurt you, and I hurt her, and I've been carrying that guilt every day." Nathan presses a hand to his forehead, his world tilting under him. He tries to speak, but words keep slipping away. "All this time," he whispers. "All this time, I never knew." Amy steps closer, her voice breaking. "She deserves the truth. You deserve the truth. And I'm sorry, so sorry, for keeping it from you." Her shoulders tremble as she adds, "If you hate me for it, I understand. But Gracie, she needs you. And she's old enough now to feel that something's missing." He feels the weight of her words settle deep into his chest. So many missed moments. So many days he never knew belonged to him. And yet, through the shock, something else rises, a fierce, aching tenderness. "Where is she?" he murmurs finally, eyes softening. Amy turns toward the doorway. Gracie stands just outside, small hands clasped quietly, watching them with wide, uncertain eyes. She must have heard more than they realized. Her gaze shifts between them, trying to understand the tension in the air. Nathan drops to a knee without thinking, his breath unsteady. "Hey," he says softly. Gracie steps forward slowly, almost cautiously, like she isn't sure what this moment means. Nathan's eyes fill with something Amy hasn't seen before. Mixture of pain,
No wonder.
and a love that forms instantly and naturally, as if it had been waiting all along. "You're my dad?" Gracie asks in a trembling voice. Nathan's breath catches. He nods, a small emotional smile pulling at his lips. "If you'll let me be," he whispers. Gracie's eyes fill with tears, not of fear, but of something deeper. Hope. Relief. An answer to a question she's carried quietly in her heart. She steps into Nathan's arms, and he holds her like he's afraid she'll disappear. Amy watches, her own tears falling silently. But this time, they're tears of release. Nathan looks over Gracie's shoulder at Amy. The hurt is still there, but something stronger breaks through understanding. The beginning of forgiveness. The beginning of a new chapter none of them were prepared for, and just like that, the truth finally spoken, Heartland feels different. Not broken, not shattered, just changed forever.